that one time, I smelled something and walked away from it. So let me have a drink of water so we can get into this story about my experience a long time ago, at least 20 years ago, at least. I got involved with a television show that had so much potential in Arizona, right? And so there was this guy who came to town. His name was Carlton. Yeah, let me get on there. I can't remember Carlton's last name, but this is what we knew him by. For all I know, his name wasn't really Carlton. And scattered memories says that maybe he even revealed that he had another name and he went by Carlton, possibly, and I can't remember for sure. But his name to us was Carlton. So I'm already in Arizona, established, working comic, doing stuff. I'm known as the comic who got multiple venues, doing open mics and this, that, and the third, shows, whatever. And I'm a filmmaker, aspiring filmmaker, trying to get into television, whatever, movies, yada, yada, yada. One day I was minding my own business and this guy comes to town. Certain things are fuzzy, like how we initially met. I know I heard about him. Maybe Carrie told me about him. Said that this guy, maybe he came to the comedy club and was asking questions or something like that. And Carrie told me about him and it's like, hey, this guy named Carlton is blah, 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 doing a movie or something. And that's what it was. He was supposed to be doing a movie. And so my ears perked up. Movie, huh? And he was a black dude. Huh? My ears perked up. So I think that's why I want to say Carrie told me that. I'm about to talk to Carrie and ask him if he remembers that. So it was my mission to be in the mix with whoever this Carlton dude was. It was my mission to be a part of this film. It was gonna happen. I was gonna be a part of this. You ain't gonna come to my city. I can't be a part of this. I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to do this. I'm a established writer, established comedian. This is me. This is what I do for a living. I got to be a part of this. So I got to meet him, or can't remember if I was introed to him or got his number. Or maybe I can't remember if Carrie gave me his number. I can't remember. But anyway, we in the same room. We talked, and what I remember is, because I didn't want to come off as desperate, even though I was driven and determined to be a part of this. I wanted to naturally fit in like one of his homies and be friends with him. I legitimately wanted to be his friend, sincerely. You kind of want the process to speed up because his thing was moving fast. I didn't know where he was in regards to the planning of this project. So I needed to hurry up, make my move and like I said, get in where I fit in. But I wanted to come off natural and, okay, I have a lot to offer. I just need you to listen to me. He don't know me. I'm another dude trying to come in and get something from him because he say he doing a movie. So if he doing a movie, you assume there's a little bit of financial activity going on that can back up his statements in regards to that's what he's about to do, right? So I'm trying to get in, and the money didn't matter to me. It was the fact that this cat was doing a movie, period. I wanted to be a part of it. He wrote a book, and showed me the book and blah, blah, blah. Then he invited me. This is the year we hung out with Mike Tyson, because he had some kind of party. I don't know how, like I said, so some things are fuzzy. I don't know how we ended up transitioning from doing the movie to the television show, but that happened. We ended up saying, fuck it, let's do a television show, because we were able to pull in sponsorship to facilitate and pay for the production office, the television show itself, the staff, the writing staff. We had a staff, all that. We put together a staff. We had, so the host was, or excuse me, so the show that we developed was called Off the Hook. And it was a variety show, a sketch variety show. We built it up as something that was going to be, probably start off regional, being on a known channel in Arizona and surrounding areas, to being a nationally syndicated show, because we was, hopefully hoping to be picked up by a network. That's the scale of what we were doing. I had some industry connects myself even then, because I was going back and forth to California to do some stuff too in the filmmaking world. So I was playing, that's what I had brought to the table. That's what I was offering in regards to getting things done for the project. So we ended up turning this movie thing, I got in with him, and we ended up turning this movie thing into a television show. So I was the head writer, then I was the head host. It was me and two other people. Four other people. Me and three other people. One female and two other dudes. And one of the dudes was a comic. That's another story. And the other dude was funny, writer. I can't remember his name. And then the female, I can't remember her name and anything about her. And promoting the show and putting together the staff and getting the word out there that we were doing this show called Off the Hook, and we were gonna have auditions, this, that, and the third. He was, he seemed to have a little bit of money. He had a beautiful girlfriend. He rented a limo. We were in the limo. Living like rock stars. A little bit. It was like, I was like, damn, this is really happening. We about to, we own. I remember going to was like the Hard Rock Cafe or something like that. I think Arizona had a Hard Rock Cafe or something. and he had a party going on there, or he rented it out. Something was happening that he had something to do with. And that's where he put me on the spot as a comic. I can't remember, some people might have performed or something like that. And he put me on the spot to do some comedy. And man, damn, I pulled it off. Because this is the early days of my career, but I was good at talking shit, off top of the dome. And it worked. It worked out for me. It worked out for me because there was no stage. There was no, lighting me. I was walking around the Hard Rock, people standing up, listening to music and doing whatever. The focus was on me. They knew to listen to me, and it worked. I didn't like that shit, but it worked. And so, it was, it ended up being a good night, because from there we went to another club. Maybe Mike Tyson came there. I don't know. But we ended up hooking up with Mike Tyson. Maybe he was at that club already. We met him. I don't know. But we ended up hanging out with him for a hot second. And it was fun. It was fun hanging out. It was funny watching him. This was like in the height of his, his career. He's still knocking niggas out. Matter of fact, the year this was around the time he got that tattoo on his face. That first tattoo. Everybody freaked out. That's the year it was. So if somebody can figure that out, that's the year this happened. We put a team together. And so he rented a nice little office space, production office space, with enough room to have production meetings. We had an editing bay, et cetera, et cetera. And so from outside looking in, the shit looked legit. He's spending money. We got an office now. I done pulled my best friend into this. He dealt with marketing. He was, J.O., he was creative and all that. So I got my best friend in this shit. We doing it, putting it down, blah, blah, blah. I got, it's an actual show. Like, we go around town doing little skits, including kids, recording this shit, being edited. And matter of fact, those bugs and animations that be playing down on the bottom of the screen during football games, this, that, and the third. And I don't give a fuck, y'all don't believe me or not. We started that shit. The dude that created that shit worked at He came from the television show. I can't remember his name, but he was from the Netherlands. He developed that shit because we were going to use it on the show to transition from commercial or talk about what was coming out next. He was hip on that. He had been working in CAD and Maya and all that, and this television show was an opportunity for him to showcase those creations. And when I tell you, after all this, years past, then I see those little things pop up in different commercials and starting to pop up in football games and sport games. I was like, holy shit, that's the shit I can't, what's it? His name almost came back to me. Who? I can't remember his last name. He was from the Netherlands. He was married. Him and his wife was from the Netherlands. I can't think of his damn name, but he created that shit. He did that shit. I remember it, man. And we thought, we was like, damn, that shit is dope. And I remember staying up nights watching him edit this different scenes and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm talking about pulling all-nighters because we had some deadlines for a couple things that was happening. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, we've put a team together. We got a production office. I got my best friend involved. We writing these episodes. We shooting them. We got the editor, the dude from the Netherlands. And man, it's happening. I remember one time, in the middle of the night when we had studio working on stuff. One day we were out front, and that's when I smoked cigarettes. And we was out front, and we were smoking, and a car almost hit me, almost took me the fuck out. A car was coming down the road. We were standing in front of the office building by the curb, and a car was coming, and their right front tire blew, and that shit popped the curb, almost took me out. I don't remember, somebody pulled me or we saw it or whatever, but we got the fuck out the way. And then it crashed on the corner to the right of us. That shit was crazy. But anyway, so things are happening. We are interviewing, we have this big show at this big nightclub known as Scottsdale, and we bring in musical acts and have this big staging. The communities invited, they pay, come be in the audience. It was dope, man. The whole theory and concept, it was dope, and it was happening, and we were getting interest, and it could have been something real and big had this dude not been a con artist, because everything was being done on deferment. We were deferring being paid until sponsorship money came in, which we were working on by way of putting together these pilots, because we wanted to do multiple pilots to have backup in case they said, okay, here we go, we got it, and then, move on from there. So that's why it was the all-nighters and the editing and then, going out and shooting these skits and doing things so we could put this show together to get this money so we can get paid, because, nigga, we need to get paid. All these people, men, women, put in time and their own money to make this shit happen, because it was possible. It was happening. It was big, right? So one day I'm at home and I get a phone call from one of the people involved in the show, and this cat, he had been with a popular music group, and I can't think of their name, so I'm not even gonna bring them up. But just know he had been one of the members, and so he was ahead of the music department, along with these Jamaican cats that I met. This is where I met the cats that I started a rap group with, my first rap group. So it spawned off of different things. So this cat who was in charge of it, because he was handling the music thing, and he got us cats like Corrupt. You know what I'm saying? He got us connected, and I knew some people in the music thing too that were going to come through. But he had already been in it. You know what I'm saying? So he knew a few people. So one day, Oh, let me not get ahead. So he calls me one night and puts this bug in my ear. And I had heard it once before from, or the day before actually, from one of the girls on the show, that they had heard that Carlton had gotten some money, right? And so they was like, okay, he got some money, can we get paid? And I'm like, and they were calling me because I'm the leader, I'm the host. And I'm like, I haven't heard anything about anybody getting paid, but I'll ask. That's what they were looking for me to do. I'll confront it, I'll ask, hell yeah. So after I talked to them, to talk to my mans, I hung up and called Carlton and said, hey man, love you, blah, 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 blah. Everything's been on the up and up. And I don't want no secrets. Cause that's how shit break up, rumors and this, that, and the third. And so I want everything to be cool, man. So there's this rumor, people saying that you got money and ain't nobody being paid. They want to know what's up with that. Man, but he gave me some excuse that it's not true. And, and that's fucked up. Who said it? He started focusing on, I said, I'm not going to tell you who said it, but it's more than 2-3 people. And so for that reason alone, that shit going to spread. And, so he started this witch hunt of trying to find out who said it instead of addressing the fact that it's out there and people want to know. So that started to make me a little nervous. Now you starting to sound like it's a merit to the shit, the rumor that's going around. You know what I'm saying? So he felt some kind of way, and instead of dealing with the question at hand, it was like, damn, okay. So now my boy, my best friend, he done become real tight with Carlton. So he takes Carlton's side, like, man, I'm saying, I'm working directly with him. I'll be with him a little bit more than you do, because he kind of was. He started, because he was doing the numbers and marketing and all that old shit and learning stuff. So he felt appreciative for being in a new lane and learning some new shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I had appreciation for that, but I'm like, yo, okay. It's, So he doing this witch hunt shit, asking people, pulling people to the side and asking them questions, whatever. So we have a meeting, we have a production meeting. He puts together this production meeting as an announcement, a celebration. All of a sudden there's this announcement that we got something, whatever, and interest or whatever it was, I don't even remember. And Corrupt was going to be on the line. We going to have him on the show, so we going to be talking to him, trying to negotiate this, that, and the third. And then they were going to celebrate. They had bottles of I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something expensive. And they was gonna pop some bottles. And I'm like, popping bottles, motherfucker, we got an issue that's festering amongst the ranks. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looking at me, still looking at me like, so what happened? What did Carlton say? Right? And I'm like, I don't have no answers yet. And so we finished talking to Corrupt on the phone, right? And so now Carlton wants to celebrate that we got, I'm pretty sure Corrupt said, yeah, he gonna be on the show. This, that, and the third. Now we have to talk about particulars, later on, whatever. So they excited about that. I think that's what it was. They was excited about Corrupt was going to agree to be on the show. So they wanted to celebrate by popping some bottles, this, that, and the third. I didn't want to celebrate shit yet. I don't want to celebrate and be in the middle of the celebration and we got to undo everything we were celebrating about. If we got a problem within the ranks, everything we succeed will be built on this problem. And then when we get to a place and it's going, we get to a place that we feel like, yeah, we on top of the world, that seed, that problem is going to show itself and reveal its ugly head at some point if we don't deal with it right now. I didn't want to celebrate. We got an issue and you over here acting like this is, doing a witch hunt trying to find out who said. It doesn't matter who said what. You should calm the nerves of the savage beast right now, because we've been doing this shit for months for fucking free. I don't care. I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? I know what sacrifice is in regards to doing stuff in this business. I can handle it. But the other people around, I want to keep them around and keep them happy. So this has got to be dealt with. So they popped the bottles. Boop, boop. I said, hey man, no. I stood up because strategically the cats that knew what we were discussing in regards to this rumor about him having some money was cutting their eyes at me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Looking at me like, you gonna say something rude? And so I did. Matter of fact, I think he did say that to me. One of the guys, he was like, I think D did say, he was like, you gonna say something rude? Because Carlton is over here popping champagne bottles. So I stands up and say, hey, this is all fine and dandy. And I'm talking, the whole crew is there. It's about 25, 30 people in this room at this long ass production table. And I'm like, yo, we can't be celebrating when we got an issue in-house. And so I told him what the issue was. I was like, there's some people who have concerns here, Carlton, in regards to being paid, because there's a rumor that you got a check. And so we just basically want to know what's up. So this dude takes my question to him in front of everybody as being, what do you say? That he was what's the word, the phrase? Blindsided. He took it as being blindsided. He wasn't blindsided. He was warned and asked these questions several times, and he never cleared it up. People still had issues and questions. Did you get a check? And if you did, why are we not getting paid? That meeting ended with a bad taste, because I said, okay, I can't remember what was said after that, but it made me say, okay, I'm out. I quit. It was nice working with you. I can't work in this environment if people aren't being honest. That, you know, his response, wherever it was that of anger or something. Maybe he yelled at me or something, or said something crazy. And like, I'm talking, you know, whatever. I can't remember. I just remember that I told everybody bye and walked away from the situation. And then I tried to get my best friend to walk away from the situation. This is how we became not friends for a few years. I asked him to walk away, and he was like, no. And it wasn't until a few years later why I understood why he didn't walk away. And I'll tell you about that in a second. So I walk away from this situation that I helped build, because I couldn't trust him. This rumor and the thing is, nobody walked away with me. That was the thing. No one. It was a Jerry Maguire. I'm like, well, fuck it then. I'm out of here. You know, I didn't have a fishbowl, but I faked it. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Something don't smell right. Something didn't smell right. His answers and responses didn't smell right to me. And I'm not going to sit here and bring more people into the fold and into this program that we done built up, and it's a fucking sham. You know what I'm saying? I can't be attached to this, right? So I walked away from it, man. And I'm the star. I was the star of the show. I walked away. That shit didn't mean shit to me. If people are getting ripped off and not, you know, people getting ripped off and not getting paid, and then you here celebrating instead of addressing their issue, I can't be a part of that. So I walked away. I never spoke to any of those people ever again. None of them. I can't remember half those people's name, if any. And we was like this. Like, we were a family. It was the first production experience that it was truly, everybody, it was big. We were really doing the shit. And we could have really sold this program. In retrospect, 20 years later, knowing what I know now and all the shit I've done, man, we had something. We had something. Yep. We had Wildin' Out before Wildin' Out was Wildin' Out. Because we had segments that did that type of shit. We had beatbox or rap battles and boxing rings type of shit. We had that. It was a variety show. It was shit that's been on air since then. It was that. And I walked away from it. And so as I told you, me and my best friend parted ways too, because he wouldn't walk away from it. So years passed. It probably been 10 years. I think it was like 8. And somehow this was like when social media was coming in, and I contacted him. You know, because I missed him. That was my boy, man. We had been through some things, and so I contacted him, and that's when I learned the aftermath. After I walked away from that situation, that's when I got my my justice, so to speak, my validation. I got my validation. It took me 8 years to get fucking validation for what I'm about to tell you. So I talked with my boy. I'm telling you, we rekindling. He explains to me why he couldn't walk away from the situation, and I totally understood. I'm like, damn, we ain't seen each other 8 years, and this little piece of information would have been enough, because I was married too. He was married at the time, and for him to put all his time and effort into what they was doing, because this girl was working somewhere that made them enough money to hold them down while he did this venture with me until money was coming in from the television show, from commercial sales and all that old shit. And so for him to do, there's already a stigma on black men not having a job, and everybody don't consider what we fucking do as a job. And it is a job. It's a job. Anything you put time and effort in, 8 hours a day is a fucking job. Now if it paid, now it's a different story. Different thing. Different situation. But it's not only a job, what I do, it's an investment. It's an investment. And that investment could have paid dividends had the person leading it wasn't a fucking crook. So he tells me, I invested all this time, Rue. We did all this shit. And then for me to say, babe, I can't do it no more, and I'm walking away, he couldn't do it. She would have been all on his ass, and I understand. I've been married, my ex-wife didn't support the shit I was doing too either. I understood totally. I was like, word? He was like, yeah, man. And they gotten divorced. They gotten divorced when we rekindled. They gotten a divorce. He was like, yeah, it was hard. And then so this is what he revealed to me. And he was like, I know you want to know what happened. I was like, hell yeah, what happened? He was like, he was a crook. He was a crook. He had gotten $50,000, a $50,000 check, investment from a doctor or a group of doctors or something in Arizona. And he said, Jay said, he went and bought a Mercedes and maybe got a new apartment or something and skipped town with the money. Skipped town with the money. He skipped town with the money. Again, I've talked to anybody except for my best friend since then. I can't remember anybody's name, except for one, the comic that was on the show. He's another story within itself. But yeah, it ended. Like, now I couldn't understand. So it ended, like it took 8 years for me and him to reconnect, but it ended, and none of those people tried to contact me in the early days, soon after, because he was like, it happened like 2 months or 3 months later or some shit. It could have been weeks, actually. I think it was weeks that what I was addressing happened. He was a crook, and he got money, and he took off with it. He took off with it. And how I suffered from that is, we was friends, man. At least I thought. Like we were family. And we really did this show. We had a makeup artist, she was dope. She had a few kids, and she still was making it happen and getting to where she needed to get to. And we helped each other out. Kids came to set. It was with my kids, and it was a family. It was tight, and they didn't want it. Just like Jerry couldn't walk away because of his wife's pressure on him. it was, I assume it was the same for, and maybe some desperation, because we was getting notoriety for doing this show, putting this show together. We was making some noise. And so that prestige that came along with that was probably infectious, and they loved it. And who am I to rock their world like that? But I can't forget the closeness we had, and none of that. You were so prideful that you can't call me and say, man, you were right. We should have listened to you, man. We so sorry. Cause I'm telling you, I Jerry Maguired that shit. I walked the fuck out by myself. No one followed me. In fact, the dude from the Netherlands that created, did the graphics and effects and our editing, they were literally mad at me. They were literally mad at me for blowing up the spot like that. And they stayed mad at me even after the fact, because I think I contacted them through Facebook, or at least his wife. And she was saying that he was John Coop. Yeah, maybe that's his name, John Coop. He was fucking mad. He probably back in the Netherlands living on the top of the mountain somewhere, rich, because he invented that shit, yo. He invented that shit. And I just assumed that he sold the concept of it or showed somebody how to do. I don't know. But that dude invented that shit. John Coop. If from my ignorance when I first met him, if it was something that he was developing that was already out there, I don't know. But it seemed to me at the time, and it looked like he created that shit. It was some shit we had never seen on TV. It wasn't on TV, any TV shows. It was going to be premiered on our shit first. It was going to be premiered on our shit first. And yeah, man. He was a good guy. We loved him. His wife, she was cool as hell. We used to make fun of his accent because he sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But yeah, man. Yeah, I suffered. I lost 50% of my friends, probably 80%, because they were all my friends and the only people I really associated with at that time. And yeah, I lost all of them in one fell swoop, trying to do the right thing. And in retrospect, how Carlton and I friendship was, I think he was feeling me out to see if I was gonna go along with it, so that maybe he was gonna include me in on the grift. But he knew from that bottle popping party, no, that wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that was not the first. Because the reason why I had experience doing television is because I worked. Okay, so that wasn't the first time I got scammed, but it was the first thing that I was the star of. It was my star vehicle as a television variety host that had legs. I don't understand why he ripped them off like that when the show could have worked. I don't understand it. Was that his intention all along, or did it develop into that? Did he see it as a way out? You know, the money way out and to break even and to have a little pocket change from all the shit he done spent already, because doing something like that is an investment. And not only time, but it's an investment, effort, lives, and if you're not paying people up front, you got to be honest with them, man. You can't, because once they sniff the oh, you got some money, nigga. Hold up. What's going on? You got the answer for that, man. So, yeah, I haven't told that story like that, I don't think ever. Maybe to my ex-wife. But she lived it, so I mean, she would, but I haven't told that story haven't told it like that from beginning to end. No. I wonder. I think about it every now and then. I wonder how things would have worked out had he not been a con artist. Had he not ripped everybody off. Had he been what we presented to the public, what could have been today, 20 years later. I wonder what all those people who were a part of that show are doing now. I wonder if I would recognize them, if I ever saw them, if they would recognize me. Because everybody knew I was a comic. I was a touring comic, even doing the show. Because I would have to take off some weeks and go on the road. But I wonder if, I just wonder. Well, I'm going to end it there. That's shorter than usual, but I'm going to end it there. I just wanted to talk about that specifically. I'm going to catch y'all next time on That One Time I with Hood Rawlz. I'm out, y'all. Thanks for hanging out.